the battle for bragging rights down to Texas. Cowboys at Texans. Pick this up in overtime, 3rd and 1. Zeke gets stopped for no gain. Jason Garrett says, hey, we're going to punt. And that decision would cost him as Deshaun Watson finds DeAndre Hopkins for the 49-yard gain.
Oh, like a loaf of bread, CC.
Yeah,
he got huge hands, though. Oh.
Play that sets up the Kaimi Fairburn 36-yard field goal, and the Houston Texans are your winners. Dallas and Houston now both sit at 2 and 3. Here's Deshaun Watson after the win.
He's a playmaker. He's one of the best, if not the best receiver in the NFL, so we rely on him. In those situations, he came up big, and playmakers make plays whenever, we need them. And that was a situation where we needed to make a play, and, I threw it up for him to make a play, and he did what he had to do.
A lot of people, put him in the box sometimes and think that he's just a running quarterback, but you see the amazing throw that he made at the end. That was an unbelievable throw to put touch on the ball like that. Just seeing how the defender undercut the pass, great ball.
Obviously, it's frustrating. You lose your third road game straight for the most part. And then, as you said, it's the offense hadn't gotten going on the road, and defense, especially with them giving us all the chance they did, making the big plays down there in the red zone, holding them to field goals, and keeping us in the game, and we weren't doing our part. It's very frustrating.
Bart, all the talk all week was that the Dallas Cowboys, no matter what the Texans were going to bring, they had to just run the ball. Give the ball to Zeke. He's their only real great player on the team. Let him go out and win or lose the game for you. They sort of did that with 20 carries, but what was the key to the Texans beating the Cowboys Sunday?
See, I know Merciless, Clowney, Watt gets a lot of the attention, but those defensive tackles put on a show. You talk about penetration. You talk about winning the line of scrimmage. Dallas wanted to pull those, front side pullers, backside pullers. If you weren't covered, pull them, get Zeke to the edge. They were getting picked off because of inside penetration. And, hats off to Reeder and Blackston because they put on the show, and they were consistent the entire game, and Zeke just couldn't get started. He really couldn't, you can set the edge from inside if you get penetration. And Collins, man, is taking L's on top of L's on top of L's. They're missing Frederick, and I think they're, Zeke, what can you do? When you're losing a point of attack, and now you got to try and wind back and get to the edge and circle the defense.
What I will say is this. What they could have done is that 4th and 1. Up in the second half, they had 7 drives.
Yeah, they could have salvaged.
They generated
4 offensive nights.
91 total yards of offense on 7 drives in the second half, leading up to overtime. In overtime, they actually started to move the ball. 33 yards is what they'd gotten after just that drive on overtime after 91 yards in the second half. I'll tell you, here's an interesting quote. I just pulled it up. And I went to an interesting place for the quote. DallasCowboys.com. So this was not to just, some random meeting member. This was to the team's website, the team's reporter. Quote, we were being outplayed. It's time for risks at that particular time. That quote is from the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, to the website he owns, DallasCowboys.com, saying the coach that I pay should have gone for it there. So it's not me second-guessing. It's the only person really that matters second-guessing because it was 4th and 1 at the Texans' 42. Let's keep in mind, the Panthers in that situation kicked a game-winning field goal from 6 yards further back. Like, the Cowboys were afraid to run the ball on 4th and 1. And I was certain they were going to go for it because of the goofy play they ran on 3rd down.
Bart, they ran an offset I. They put Zeke at the fullback and a dive to him. And you know something? Just to make sure the defense was terrified, we put Cole Beasley. Now, I don't know when the last time Cole Beasley lined up at tailback.
He's just there to cut.
But I know he's not there to do anything but for the defense to concentrate on Zeke. You cannot put Zeke in that. Now, Zach Martin, the right guard, he doesn't get a good block. He doesn't fire off and get the inside linebacker. He's late on that. But on 3rd down, the only thing worse than them not going for it on 4th down was the call and the lack of creativity, which I rated being a 0 on a scale of 1 to 100.
I actually think
it wasn't that bad of a play because what it is remember the old.
Don't you coach your son's little league football team?
Yeah, I did. We took an L yesterday.
Okay, do you run that play, Bart? Tell the truth. You run fullback dive, Bart.
But you know what that is.
Do you run fullback dive? Answer the question, sir.
It's in the repertoire. But let me explain to the viewers really what that play is. That's pretty much a quarterback sneak with the fullback, which is your tailback. And what they do is you try and get the double team, and it's a trap. So you try and get them to run to the bubble. Remember to see how the Seahawks used to run that play, and also the
Bart, you're getting too technical for me.
Well, what's the fullback that Aaron Rodgers used to have? Coon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was his play too. And
Him
also
or Moose Johnson.
Yeah, so also that was the dive pitch option type of option.
Right.
So Dak had the option to pull it out of the belly and then have the speed option.
What about
on the
Tavon
outside.
Austin? Put a guy with some speed.
Instead of Cole Beasley.
Yeah. Well, you can't trust him. He hasn't made a play in his life.
Okay, but do you agree
I like
though,
it is, Bart.
that play is going to get you? It's one of three outcomes.
Well, that was creative.
0 yards, 1 yard, or 2 yards.
Yeah.
Like the only way you can justify doing that, to me, is if you've made the decision we're going for it on fourth. So if you run a play that you know you can't lose yards on because you're not going all the way in the backfield, you think maybe we can pick it up. If we don't pick it up, we'll probably pick up half the distance and then go for it.
What about the owner who 2 weeks ago said my quarterback is a cross between Jared Goff and let me throw Cam Newton. So where's that guy at?
So that's Troy Smith, right?
Well,
your boy. No, I love Troy. I love Troy.
The point being,
great
why not let him try to sneak it?
Oh, I got to apologize to a former team. My bad, Troy. I'm just playing, man. I'm just having fun with Steve.
But
he had a great career in the Canadian League.
You're unbelievable.
Stay focused.
Okay.
Sean McVay, who knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, who is not as physically imposing as Dak.
Yeah.
In a game they were winning to run a quarterback sneak. The Dallas Cowboys don't trust Zeke to run a typical run play. We got to trick him. We got to do some goofy, put him at fullback. You can say it's a fine play. What I know is this. It's the type of play you run if you think we can't just beat you. We can't win. We got approximately, let me check my notes,
I told you it was taking the mails inside.
$1.2 billion in the offensive line. You got the best running back in football, straight running. We can't just run a regular handoff to him. And then we got to have the option to pitch it to Cole Beasley. And then you punt it on fourth down. What's your best case scenario on punting on fourth down? You get it back with 3 minutes left in overtime, trying to drive the field.
2.5 minutes.
Right. You hadn't done that all game.
When you hadn't done it, their one touchdown drive came after the Nuke fumble when they only had 16 yards to go. Because you mentioned, Bart, the Texans' tackles deserve credit.
Yeah.
The Cowboys' defense deserves credit.
Yeah.
The Texans had the ball. They ran 9 plays inside the 5-yard line, came away with 3 points.
Yeah.
They were in the red zone 6 times. They scored 1 touchdown. The Cowboys defense, Jalen Smith was flying around, and they can't get to 17 points in regulation.
Yeah.
Not 17 points.
I can't allow you to get away with the John Kuhn thing. The reason why the John Kuhn thing worked because didn't nobody think he was going to get it. I mean, the other man surprised was they're not going to give it to him.
Same with the Moose Johnson thing because you have Emmett
If they would have had Cole Beasley at fullback and given it to him, I'd have been like, all right, I
I'm
understand.
surprised.
I get you. Well, that was a great play. They blitzed the gap, and it's always a bubble somewhere. They blitzed the gap and got penetration. So yeah.
But I guess my question is this, real quick, and I'm sorry.
Bart Strong.
If you're on defense, let me ask you this:
Merlot, don't be hating.
As a defensive player, if you see Zeke Elliott lining up at fullback and Cole Beasley at tailback, and you're right before the snap, you got to guess. What are they doing on this play? What are you guessing?
Well, I get it, but the dive pitch is really a short yardage play. We all know what the dive pitch is, when you fake and you pitch it. We've all run that play, and they got too cute. You can say they got too cute, but if it works, then they're geniuses because what happens is you got wedge blocking. So really you got 2 options. You want to go straight ahead because you know penetration is coming, and that holds that, Cole Beasley being a tailback holds the defensive end from being able to flatten down. But what they didn't account for is they blitzing through the A-gap. Man, I feel this heat coming on. I'm so this heat.
Cole Beasley's mama was surprised he was tailback. She's like, he's not getting the ball. He's not fooling anybody.
Bart, we'll see in a little bit. Coming out to the Steelers.
Marlowe, baby. Like Stanfield raspberry, baby.
Sixers drama with an offensive explosion Sunday night on First Things First.
Me and Jenna put some color on this set.
Yeah, ain't good.